Generally speaking, you need 4 things going at the same time to get social change to happen. The first thing that you need is you definitely need people, okay? But the people have to be highly organized. Like right now, here's an example. We have people in the room, but this group of people in the room, we're not organized. Many of us may see the world in similar ways. We may be frustrated by similar things, but we're not organized. Even getting 1,000, if I spoke to a crowd that had 1,000 or 10,000 people, those are people, but they're not organized. So often we'll gather people together, but we're not organizing them in the ways that they need to be empowered to do something. So you need people and they have to be organized. You need people and they have to be energized. Here's the problem. When people lose momentum or energy or passion, it's very difficult to get social change to happen. Now, energy can come in a lot of forms. It can be anger. Like right now, I think people are energized to expose horrible men. It's happening right now. People are energized to do it, and it's based in anger, frustration. I think years from now, people will look back on something that's going on right now as people are being exposed horrible sexual misconduct and abuse and sexual assault. And there's some complex reasons why it's happening right now in this time, but the primary energy behind that is anger, pain, and frustration. So people, to make change happen, they need to be energized, they need to be organized. And often we get those 2 things and we think that's enough. A march, for instance, a protest is a group of organized, energized people. And what I found, because I participated in many of them, many of us would be energized and organized, and then nothing would happen about it. And that's because we lack the final 2 things. You need people who are energized and organized, but you also need people, and this is the most important, people who have a plan for change. When I ask people all over the country, hey, what is your local plan to improve the criminal justice system? Just explain it, repeat it back to me. Here's what people can normally tell me. People can tell me what's wrong with it. People can tell me horror stories of someone who's been abused by it or wrongly convicted, but rarely do people actually have a plan to change it. And that's a problem. So you can have all the people, a ton of energy and a ton of organization, but if you're not working from an effective plan to make change happen, what will happen is you'll eventually lose the people and lose the energy. You need people, they gotta be organized and energized, they have to have a real quality plan. And then lastly, you need money. And this is a deeply underfunded movement. The movement to fight for criminal justice reform in particular is grossly underfunded. Let me give you a great example of someone who's killing it. I think they're the best possible example. If you could base your efforts on anybody, I would advise you to base what you do to make social change happen on this group. I think they're masters. Hold on. You have an idea. Give me a second. Nobody gets the people and organizes them better, energizes them more, works their plan and funds it better than the NRA. They're the best. They're amazing. I've been studying their budget from last year, and they raised almost $350 million. And last year, the largest civil rights organization in America raised 8% of that. And so you can do a lot with $350 million. You can influence a lot of politicians. You can fund a lot of lobbyists. You can create amazingly complex marketing campaigns that cause people to feel a certain kind of way. So much so that in our country, a man can literally kick out the window of a hotel and shoot 500 people. And we just keep on rolling. Literally, politicians came out the next day and said, it's the cost of American freedom. That's brilliant. It's terrible. A man can literally walk in. Did you see earlier this morning that Donald Trump tweeted his heartfelt feelings for the wrong mass shooting? We have that many. That he tweeted his feelings for the people in Sutherland Springs, Texas, but he or whoever was managing social media meant to say California. We lose touch. That literally almost 30 people were shot and killed in a church, including 8 children, a pregnant woman. And the politicians and the regular everyday people are like, should have had more guns. And we are currently the only nation in the world, and there are a lot of nations, almost 250 of them. We're the only nation in the world that has more guns than people. And then a church full of people get killed, and people are like, if we had more guns, they're good. They're really good. And I would encourage you to, if you can demonize them, but I would encourage you to change your posture and say, wow, they're really good at what they do. You could say toward an end that you don't agree with, but I would encourage you to study them because they organize, they have members who not only pay their dues, but also pay for other people's dues just because. I don't know if you're aware of this, but several gun companies, when you buy the gun, you're an automatic member of the NRA. This is complex. They have did you see that they are now selling insurance? The NRA is partnering with the insurance company. In the case that you defend yourself and kill someone, you'll have what people are calling murder insurance. So that if you, I'm just saying, it's complex. And when you look at how we're fighting back against the things that we care about, I'm not saying we need to sell bad insurance. I'm saying this is a group who has the people, they're organized, they're energized, they have a plan, and they're funding it. And it's working really, really well, but for them.